Justin Verlander, another season of 30 starts, this time in an Astros uniform for the first time in his career as he gets to 30 starts, probably 4 more after today if the Astros keep this rotation going for the final 23 games or so, as the 24 games or so as the Astros start the day 85 and 53, 2.5 games ahead of the Oakland A's, both teams victorious last night. Seattle 8 games back. Hi everybody, welcome. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, glad you could join us for another night of Astros baseball. And Blummer, homestand got off to an okay start, but lately things have been good.
It has been good. It's nice to finish off this homestand against the Minnesota Twins. These are must-win, need-win games for the Astros.
Last year around this time, Justin Verlander was making his Astros debut, and this was a good month, not only last year, but throughout his career.
Yeah, it was a great time to see him come in. It's nice tonight that they are recognizing first responders. It's only fitting that Justin Verlander in that mix, because it was around that time where he came over and really provided a boost to this clubhouse. There was a lot of concern coming out of August how September was going to go. Yes, they had a big lead in the division. Yes, they were going to go to the playoffs, but what was going to happen after that? But Justin Verlander came in, put up some incredible numbers in September, made us reminisce about that time that Randy Johnson came over.
Absolutely. The power player presented by TXU is Verlander. Last year just added to what has been a trend in his career.
Yep, a trend in his career where September's been very good. We know it's much like the games he pitches. Gets off to a pretty good start, but it's really how he finishes, up the velocity and things like that. But this season's a little bit different. Had a great April. We're going to have to wait and see how September goes. But if it goes like it has in the past, it should be very good.
JB making his first start in the month of September. When we come back, Julia Morales will join us. She'll be talking about Tony Kemp. What an addition he has been to the lineup this year, getting that lineup turned over.
Astros have been playing pretty good baseball, winning 3 straight and looking to finish off this homestand with a series win, looking to get it done tonight. We've seen contributions throughout this team, different guys it seems every night, including Tyler White, who's been great. But how about Tony Kemp, who's playing in his 80th Major League game tonight, and that's after not making the opening day roster. He's been great so far this year, and when you compare what he's done in the Major Leagues in the past, It's pretty impressive, the numbers that he's been able to put up. Like I said, his 80th game today, so 79 versus the 76 games he played in 2016 when he made his debut, and then 2017 when he was really just a September call-up. Look at the runs produced, 52 for him this year. That means driving them in or scoring them. And when he was called up in May of this year, he really saw it as his last chance with the Houston Astros. Felt like he wanted to give it his best effort because he was out of options. He's done exactly that. He's been hitting ninth for this ball club for the most part, and it's really been a perfect fit for him. He's been a jolt of energy really at the bottom of the lineup, being that second leadoff guy, helping George out at the top of the lineup. The numbers there, really good. The .331 average, driving in 21, scoring 26 in the 9-hole. And he's back in there tonight with Jose Altuve returning to the lineup. So that's good for everyone. Tony Cantone today, he's so confident when he goes up to the plate these days. He feels just comfortable in his own skin right now. Thrilled to be a part of this club and being able to help them in any way that he can. It was really hurtful. He didn't make that playoff roster last year as well, so he's got his eyes on that, hoping to help his team win a division, though, first. He is focused and ready to go tonight, though. Coming up, Justin Verlander will take the hill. He's trying to help the Astros win this series against the Minnesota Twins. First pitch coming up next.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Astros and the Twins. Series dubbed the Houston Strong Series as we welcome you into Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. Before the game, the Astros honoring the first responders and community members that help support the city of Houston. Hurricane Harvey a little more than a year ago making landfall, and so many of these responders on the scene to help save lives during the devastating storm of a year ago. And special ceremonial first pitch as well before the game. Nice to see everybody back in town 1 year later and being recognized.
Deservedly so. A lot of work went into it when Harvey hit. Still a lot of work going on now, but those first responders are the ones who are on call when we need them at some of the worst times, and it's nice to see the Houston Astros honor them today.
So the Houston Strong Series will be in Game 2 of this 3-game set with the following lineup for Paul Molitor and the Minnesota Twins. Joe Mauer leads off at first base. Logan Forsythe, Jorge Polanco, In the middle of the infield, Robbie Grossman in left, Jake Cave in center, Miguel Sano DH as Max Kepler gets a start against Justin Verlander. A-Ray Adrian's at third, and Chris Jimenez behind the plate.
Justin Verlander is your starting pitcher tonight against these Minnesota Twins. He's got a lot of experience against them. 35 games he has started against the Minnesota Twins. Carries a career 3.06 ERA against the Twins. His season numbers are impressive, 13-9. Those 240 strikeouts are second in the American League behind his teammate, Garrett Cole, who's at 243.
So we're underway. Verlander's 30th start of the season begins with a strike at the knees with a fastball. Nothing new for Justin. First pitch strike percentage, the best of his career. And the fastball usage also at the top of his career. 67.6% first pitch strike percentage, and Mauer looking for that fastball on the second pitch, looks at foul, and it's 0-2. Mauer and Verlander, as you might imagine, have had a lot of head-to-head battles. 79 at bats for Mauer, and during that time he has a .329 batting average. Only Billy Butler has more hits in his career against Verlander than Joe Mauer and Salvador Perez with 26. Butler has 35. There's a line drive caught by Carlos Correa. Hit well on the 0-2 pitch. And Correa is there for out number one. Defensively behind Verlander tonight, the outfield has Tony Kemp in left, George Springer in center, and Josh Reddick in right. Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa on the left side of the infield. Jose Altuve back after a DH day and a day off. He's at second base. And Yuli Gurriel over at first. Martin Maldonado behind the plate. Here's Logan Forsythe. Takes a pitch outside for ball one. Forsythe coming over to the Twins in a trade at the end of July. Playing for the fourth team in his career. Faced Verlander and the Astros last year in the World Series.
Been swinging the bat well as a Minnesota Twin. 243 on the season, but since coming over, hitting .311.
Yeah, the numbers weren't quite there for the Dodgers. 207 in 193 at bats, but you're right, Blummer. He has picked it up since coming back to the American League. He's gone back and forth. San Diego starting his career, then over to the American League with Tampa Bay, then back to the National League with the Dodgers, and now the Twins. Tony Kemp, diving effort, and he makes the catch. Kemp flying through the air, picks up out number two.
Always talked about Kemping at home plate when he's putting together some good ABs, but he can Kemp it out there in the outfield too. He reacted to the swing initially, went back with one step and had to make the adjustment coming back in on our Mattress Firm Supermo. So see, even in the dive, getting two hands on that to make sure he secures it. Good play by Tony.
Outfield play so important when Justin Verlander is pitching. As Jorge Polanco takes a strike. Verlander's never had a higher percentage of fly ball outs prior to this season. There's a ball out of play. 0-2. Fewer ground ball outs, more fly ball outs. 48% fly ball outs, highest of his career. But also the home run numbers are up. A lot of elevated swings from hitters against Verlander. 27 home runs this year. 30 is a career high allowed.
Tied for the same number of home runs he gave up last year with those 27.
But he is still going to attack the zone. He's going to throw a high percentage of fastballs. And this one's up in the air. Jose Altuve down the line and puts it away with a little basket catch in foul territory. Verlander gets 3 fly ball outs, one of them a line drive. Has George Springer at the top, followed by Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman. Carlos Correa hits in the cleanup spot. Tyler White DHs tonight. Yuli Gurriel bats 6. Josh Reddick in right field. Martin Maldonado behind the plate. And Tony Kemp has been so good at that number 9 spot.
All right, Trevor May is going to start this game, or should I say open this game, depending on how you look at things. He is going to be the primary pitcher for Paul Molitor and the Minnesota Twins. It will be his 14th appearance. He's got pretty good numbers overall. Fastball, slider, curveball, a little bit of a changeup mixed in there. The whip is good, but don't plan on seeing him for too long. 1 inning, maybe 2 if we're lucky.
One of those unique situations that we're seeing more and more of. Started with Tampa Bay, and now we're seeing it spread out to other teams. As Trevor May begins his outing, Cole Stewart's already warming up in the bullpen.
Man, he's just, Paul Molitor not impressed with the warm-up pitches?
Warm-up didn't look so good.
Jeez.
Cole Stewart, a local kid from St. Pius, will make his 5th appearance of the season. And he'll get the majority of the work tonight. Springer starts off this game with a base hit into left center field. Well, George likes the first pitch he sees, and he is a leadoff base runner. Don't forget it's Tuesday night, which means it is a Twitter Tuesday. We showed you the first responders earlier as part of this Houston Strong series. So we ask you this. Reflect back, if you will, 1 year ago and how baseball may have helped you during that very difficult time. Tweet us your thoughts, your pictures, your memories of going through Hurricane Harvey and how, if at all, baseball may have helped you during those tough times.
It's a good one right there. Katie Bracamani. You should recognize that last name, but what a great sign from underwater to on top of the world during that parade after the 2017 World Series Championship.
Yeah, that parade was something else. Here's Jose Altuve with a called strike. So that'll be our theme tonight on Twitter Tuesday. Send your thoughts, your pictures, your memories, your reflections of 1 year ago, and the Astros honoring their first responders during this series before the game. Trevor May is 28 years old. He'll turn 29 later on this month, actually, September 23rd. As Plummer said, not expected to go deep in this game, but he is the opening pitcher, and then Cole Stewart will probably see for extended innings. Paul Molitor going to mix in some opening pitchers down the stretch. They're talking about going to a 6-man rotation from here on out. There's a ball driven into left field coming on Grossman, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Springer has to return to first. Well, hit by Altuve, but nothing to show for it.
No Player Does More is presented by HEB. Alex Bregman put together a pretty phenomenal season. The month of June was spectacular, but how about even if you go towards the end of the month and you go from June 26th on, 332, 425 on base percentage, and slugging at a 645 clip. Those are your traditional slash lines in Major League Baseball, and they are incredible.
Just keeps rolling.
That doesn't even take into account the stare percentage.
Yeah, the creativity is definitely amped up lately on the celebrations. Alex takes a fastball upstairs for ball one. Is that batting average up to 292, has a home run in 3 consecutive games. Alex hitting .433 during this homestand. Two and 0.
There's only 2 other guys doing what Alex Bregman is doing as far as an above 300 average, above 400 on base percentage, and above 600 slugging percentage. And those guys to the right of Alex Bregman are all being considered for MVP this season, which makes me think that Alex might get a couple of votes himself.
Alex has certainly thrust himself into the picture lately. It's maybe not a consideration for serious MVP votes a couple of months ago, but with what he has done lately, he's been phenomenal. He keeps improving month to month. Currently on a streak of 31 straight games of reaching base, matching his career high, which was set earlier this season. 2-1 count here. Strike, it's 2-2. Kyle Gibson saying after the game last night he knew that Alex Bregman was the one guy in this lineup who has been as dangerous as anyone. He said he made a mistake on the home run and then got a little careful to him next time around and ended up walking him.
There are a lot of pitchers around the league saying that.
Opening single by George Springer. Jose Altuve, even though he still didn't get a hit, good sign when he hit a rocket to left field, was caught by Robbie Grossman.
No, I agree. That was a very good swing by Jose. Great swing by George, also balance.
The thing about Bregman in this count, you saw him take a 2-0 pitch and a 2-1 pitch. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes right now. Did not like the 2-1 pitch. It was on the top part of the zone. Up and in, and the count's full.
Trying to get that fastball in, but up around the nose of Alex. It's not a comfortable feeling.
Well, as hot as Alex has been and hasn't struck out very often during this recent stretch. On the 3-2 pitch, we'll see if AJ sends Springer here. George is moving, and this ball is hit well to left field down the line, and this ball is off the top of the wall. Springer being waved around. Springer will score. Astros lead 1-0 on Bregman's double, his 44th double of the year.
Bregman. He is a man in this lineup for AJ Hinch. A lot of pitches up in the zone, elevated 87 miles an hour. You can see on the MD Anderson strike zone that is just right in the swing path. I think Alex thought he got this, and you get an idea about a foot away from becoming a 2-run home run. We gave you guys some numbers a while back about how his slugging percentage and OPS numbers are so large in those runners in scoring position at bats for him. Absolutely incredible. 44th double 90th RBI.
32 straight games on base. You can just roll down a list of accolades for Alex Bregman right now. He has been remarkable. And the craziest part about this stretch, I kind of referred to it last night. Yes, Altuve's back, and yes, Correa's back, but they're not back to where they were before, where they're offering a ton of protection behind him. So he's just doing this right now. At some point, we're going to see the Carlos Correa we've known. And Altuve showed some signs recently, but just one double and one home run for Carlos since coming back in 22 games.
Well, there's only one thing going on. Alex Bregman is going out and getting his. It doesn't matter who's around him. He is going to get his if that pitch is in the zone and he can hammer it.
That one's on the inside corner, says Nick Marley. Carlos thought that might have been inside. It's 1-2 instead of 2-1.
Yeah, it was a good take by Carlos. He wasn't rewarded.
It's seen primarily Carlos get pitched inside most of the season. This one's away and tapped down the third baseline, but tap foul. Bregman hustling just in case. Now, this is the guy right now. Amidst all these stars in this lineup, Bregman is putting up numbers that are not just his career best, but some of the best numbers we've seen in an Astros uniform in a long time.
Yeah, what he's doing has kind of forced us to look deeper into the numbers, but also look on the surface at some of those traditional ones like we just showed you. Those slash lines are traditionally what a lot of people will look for as far as how well a guy is doing. And Alex Bregman is doing everything right. The peripherals are amazing. Still walking more than he strikes out. Driving the baseball when he can.
Correa pops one up. Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, out. Kepler in. It's Forsythe who takes control. And that's out number 2. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Tyler White since August 1st. Trailing only J.D. Martinez in on-base percentage plus slugging percentage. The OPS of 1,053. Good names on that list, including Alex Bregman, who continues to move up in that category as well. He's got 44 doubles now, does Alex, to go along with the 28 home runs. And he just drove in his 90th run of the year. Called strike. White came into the game last night, was not in the initial starting lineup. Marwin Gonzalez forced to leave the game with a little soreness in that right oblique area. AJ not anticipating playing Marwin in this series tonight or tomorrow, so Tyler gets a start as the DH. Oh, 2 the count. Paul Molitor said before the game that Trevor may see 2 innings at the most. Let's see what he thinks after this first inning as he's approaching 20 pitches in this inning. He wants Cole Stewart to come out in a clean inning, whether that's the second or the third. Up and away, it's 1-2. Stewart's had plenty of time to get loose during this inning. Looks like he's ready to go.
Yeah, he might have thrown as many pitches as May has. He was getting loose at the same time that Trevor May was getting loose to start this ball game.
Hook down the line. This is going to hook foul.
I want to put that slider in his pocket. He's not looking good in this ball game early on for Trevor May.
May coming back from Tommy John surgery that cost him all of last year and most of this year. Made 4 rehab starts at AAA before his 2018 debut on the final day of July. side to White. It's 2-2. As confident as Alex Bregman is, I wonder if this season may even have exceeded what he could have hoped for this season. That would be a lot, because his expectations are off the charts. But these numbers that he is building right now,
it's one of those things you wonder if he really realizes what he is actually doing, because he is so good this year.
Up the middle, base hit for Tyler White. Bregman waved around. The throw from Cave will be offline. 2-0 Astros on the RBI by White. Ball is loose, and White will get back to second base. The Shark attacks with an RBI.
Just taking a little nibble early in the game. Great swing on a fastball. Tyler White may have recognized the fact that the off speed isn't going very good early on for Trevor May, and got the fastball, was ready for it, just shot it back up the middle. It's good to see the Astros taking advantage early.
Even Sharks can milk cows occasionally. A little meeting at the mound as the Astros out to this 2-0 lead. Alex Bregman, an RBI and a run scored in this inning. That's now 90 RBIs and 94 runs scored.
I'm not sure if I was in on the secret, but why are the Astros going with the option of milking the cow on when they get on base?
Not sure. We were waiting for Julia to return.
Yeah.
She's going to dive into it.
She gets the good info.
There's a lot I have to catch up on, guys.
Yeah, there is.
There's no longer the dugout stare. There's the curling. A lot going on in there.
That was one of your questions to Brian McCann last night. He's kind of in the same boat as you.
I know. He said he had a lot to learn. You know, it's just getting acclimated to the big leagues again, getting out there feeling good, and then he's got home run celebrations he's got to catch up on. They don't teach you that on the rehab assignment.
Well, it's been fun to watch. There's been plenty of celebrating for Tyler White lately. Yuli drives one deep to left field. This ball's a rocket and gone. Yuli Gurriel back-to-back nights with a home run, and the Astros jump in front 4-0.
The question is, what's the celebration going to be?
Good to see Yuli matching his number with 10 home runs. It's a mean stare from Yuli.
Standard stare. Like the slider again up, just as cement mixers early on from Trevor May, and they are getting unleashed on. It has just been an inning of exit velos. Altuve's line out 104 miles an hour. Alex Bregman's double 103. Yuli's home run 102.3. That's a lot of barrels.
Yeah, it is. Garvin Alston, the pitching coach, was out there for a quick meeting. Lapina, who's always smiling, gave us the mean stare as part of the team celebration. That's back-to-back games with a home run for Yuli, and Justin Verlander has a 4-run lead to work with. Here's Josh Reddick. I'm sure the Twins are enjoying this opening pitcher so much today, at least with the Astros putting up 4 in the first. That slowly hit towards the middle. Forsythe, the second baseman. High throw. Reddick safe. Inning continues. Reddick, you know he's going to be hustling up the line. Ends up at first base in what will be ruled a base hit.
Nicely done. That's what hustle does for you. Even if there's a question mark, if they recognize you're hustling, the benefit's going to go your way.
5th hit of the inning for the Astros.
It's a great effort by Forsythe, but he didn't get on top of the baseball. That's why it took off on him. You really feel like, you know, Josh Reddick is a guy who takes every at bat very seriously. He might have taken out a little bit of anger by running down the line as hard as he could.
No doubt.
Paid off.
Oh, he put his head down, and there was some anger in those steps.
It's not a bad thing.
Well, 5 hits in the inning. One of the 2 outs recorded was a line out by Altuve at 104 miles an hour. And now here's Martin Maldonado. He pops one up. Looks like it's playable. Jimenez and Mauer, the first baseman Mauer, who takes control, and that'll do it. But 4-run score. The Astros lead at 4-0 after 1.
And a couple of injury updates for you. The Astros were getting healthy, but a couple of players leaving in yesterday's day game. Marwin Gonzalez being one of them, left in the first inning with right oblique discomfort. He's going to be given a couple of days off just to let it rest, but they are hoping that he can return by Friday. As for Hector Rondon, who left later in that game in the 9th inning, he took a comebacker right back towards his face, but it actually caught the meat on his hand, all muscle, he told us. A very scary moment for Hector, though. Very sore, but good news is he played catch today, guys, and he wasn't supposed to play catch really until tomorrow, so he felt so good. The swelling had gone down and he could get out there. However, they will stay away from him, give him a couple of days. Reminder, there is a day off for both Marwin and Hector, so they can just have one complete day off, maybe get them both back on Friday. And Charlie Morton was out there too. TK, he was throwing a bullpen today, and that was the last step for him. He said afterwards he felt really good. So if once they get together and decide, the plan was for him to start Saturday at Fenway Park.
All right, Julia, thanks for the update on those 3. Good to see Charlie back, and we were hoping it would be the shortest of DL stints, and it appears it might be. As Robbie Grossman leads off with a base hit, first base runner of the night for the Minnesota Twins. And the Astros also were talking about adding players in waves in September. We've already seen 3 players come off, or 2 players come off the DL, plus Josh James and Cionel Perez added to the team. Well, today it's J.D. Davis, who we saw earlier this year, and Dean Dietz. Davis numbers the last 21 games for the Grizzlies. He has been rolling along with power and batting average. And Dean Dietz, a chance to make his big league debut as he joins the Astros bullpen.
Here's a couple of insurance plans for the Houston Astros.
Ball up, right up.
He's 24 years old. JD, we've seen before this year and last year. He's 25. But with Rondon going down and Marwin, you heard from Julia, probably not going to be seen in this series. Not bad to have an extra body or 2 for the bullpen or the bench. It's 2-1 to Jake Cave. rare Justin Verlander start where he has a lot of run support early. He came off another game in his last start with 10 strikeouts or more. He has had 9 games of double-digit strikeouts this year. And the Astros are just 3-6 in those 9 games. For the most part, he's been limiting damage, just hasn't had any run support in those big strikeout games.
Now, there's a lot of those games you feel like a 4-run first inning would have given him a ton more wins.
Speaking of strikeouts, Justin picks up his first of the night. And that's now 241 on the season, 2 behind his teammate Garrett Cole.
Attacking with the fastball again, 95 miles an hour to the rookie. Couldn't catch up with it.
Now Verlander will face Miguel Sano. Next 2 hitters, Sano and Max Kepler. Verlander, who pitched in his entire career in the AL Central, has faced these guys 23 times, and Sano and Kepler are 2 for 23 with 13 strikeouts. Sano by himself is 1 for 13 with 8 punch outs. Missed 95. It's 1-1.
As a ball club this season, the Minnesota Twins are not good at hitting the fastball 94 plus, and they are not good at hitting the breaking ball. 208 against the breaking ball this season is 20th in the major leagues.
And the fastball is maybe even worse than that.
Yeah, 94 plus, 237 batting average against is 27th in Major League Baseball.
It's not a good combo.
Not against this guy.
No. Because this guy is heavy fastball, heavy strike thrower. He does drop in a breaking ball there, and Verlander would like to know where that pitch was. It's 2-1.
And that's the one pitch all season long that we've seen. The 12-6 breaking ball, the north to south movement, really creates issues for the home plate umpire. Does catch the front edge of the plate, but just doesn't get that call that often.
Upstairs, 3-1. Sano spent 28 games in the minor leagues this year. Most of them at single-A Fort Myers, the rest at triple-A Rochester. And the reason Sano went to Class A is Fort Myers is also their headquarters in spring training, so they have an opportunity with more people down there in the organization to kind of nurture him and make sure things were going well, both on the field and with a little bit of a diet too, as we see him losing some weight this year as he returned back to the big leagues. He draws a walk. Just doesn't walk many at first and second with 1 out. I'll bring up Max Kepler. Kepler takes a strike. Justin making his 30th start of the season. He has made 30 or more starts in 12 of his 13 big league seasons. Only 2015, where injuries held him to a 20 start year, did he not reach 30. Kepler down to the count 0-2. Kepler, one of those guys, Blummer mentioned the numbers against the fastball. He's one of those guys that has not put up good numbers against the fastball. 235 on the year. Verlander showing him a couple of fastballs in this at bat. Goes with the breaking ball here and doesn't get a chase. It's 1-2. Well, we thought Verlander 4 runs was significant. Tonight is his 30th start of the year, his 35th as an Astro, and never before had they scored 4 runs for him in the first inning. But he's got a little traffic here with first and second and 1 out. Knows these Twins very well, has faced them 35 times in his career. Turned out to be a pretty night here beyond left field at Minute Maid Park. Astros wrap up this 10-game homestand tomorrow night. Travel day on Thursday, then a weekend series against Boston in Boston. 1-2 pitch is sent high in the air, foul, and that'll head towards the crowd.
It's a big Sunday in the New England area for Houstonians.
Yeah.
If you were daring enough, you could go up there and watch yourself some Texans and Astros that day.
Texans and the Patriots, week 1 of the NFL season. Sunday night baseball, Red Sox and Astros. Could be quite a combo.
Be nice to see Houston sweep the city of Boston that night, or that day.
1-2 pitch bounces in there. Maldonado on in a hurry. The throw to second. Sano is safe. And he may be injured.
I think that throw was going to beat Sano, but he went into that bag hard. Might have been a late slide. Maldonado able to keep his head on a swivel as that ball bounces out in front of him. Knew he wasn't going to have that shot. That left knee jammed into the bag. Throw was there to get that tag on. Watch the left knee kind of jam that hip. Does Correa land on him or anything? Nope.
See anything with the glove tagging him on the way to the bag?
No, I didn't catch that. It would have been nice if he was able to keep that thing down on him.
Wild pitch is going to advance both runners. AJ's going to have them look at it in case they did see something with the potential part of the glove swiping Sano on the slide.
That's a useful idea during this injury timeout. Short hop. Correa was kind of looking away. He was waiting for impact. Miguel Sano is a big man. So if a glove string swipes the runner, do you get the call? Is that enough for you, TK?
String part of the glove.
Bring him up.
Crew chief Jeff Nelson, second base umpire Andy Fletcher on the headsets, as they tend to Miguel Sano at second base. And it looks like trainer for the Twins is asking the Astros if they have a board of some sort.
Is that right foot on the bag? Because it doesn't look like the left foot has made the impact yet. We might be going to see if they can get the cart for Miguel Sano.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign if he's unable to get up on his own.
I think that's what they called for. That is not a good sign. You're right. They did not want to take the chance of moving him without the benefit of a stretcher and a cart.
Yeah, it looked like it could have been a knee or a hip, because the front foot, the lead foot, kind of pops off the bag, and then that knee really absorbs a lot of the impact. They might actually call him out. Just watching it up here on the big board. El Grande. I'm not sure I have enough material for this long of a break.
You do. We've talked for hours before a broadcast.
Before, not on. I get nervous when I'm on air.
It's just two of us talking about life.
I am getting some good responses on Twitter regarding a year later.
Yeah.
As far as Hurricane Harvey is concerned, and the Astros honoring the first responders as the Houston Methodist cart makes its way onto the field, and hopefully we get a call from the umpires.
All right, we're going to get a call from the umpires very shortly. I feel it.
Timing is everything, isn't it?
So the review call stands. And now they will take their time getting Miguel Sano on the cart and off the field. All right, our Twitter Tuesday subject today, in case you're just joining us, is thoughts, reflections, memories, pictures of last year. Hurricane Harvey, and coming back through that with the Houston Astros possibly serving as some sort of light or beacon during some tough times. Jimmy says it unified a city and the state, gave people hope and a common goal to root for.
Yeah, we can feel Christian's pain because we were on the road also watching what was happening back in Houston. It was extremely tough and very emotional once we made our way back here to see what actually was going on.
Well, unfortunately, Miguel Sano will be carted off the field. Got fist bumps from Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve, giving him a pat on the way out. Sano, the DH, will leave the game. And Tyler Austin, who was the DH for Minnesota last night, will be or yesterday afternoon, I should say, will be the DH for the rest of this game. At least for now, he takes over at second base. So the wild pitch advances runners to second and third. There's one out. Sano acknowledges the Minute Maid Park crowd on his way out. Well, Justin here looking for a strikeout with a 2-2 count.
Pretty extensive delay to resume your AB.
And it's inside, ball 3. Full count to Kepler. Base hit by Grossman, a walk to Sano. Both runners advance on the wild pitch. Tyler Austin is the new pinch runner at second base. Down and in, ball 4. So after getting ahead of Kepler 0-2, Verlander walks him, and now the Twins, after giving up 4 in the bottom half of the first, have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Got interesting pretty quick.
Ray Adrianza will be the batter. Ray 7 for 19 in his career against the Astros. Ball popped high in the air on the infield. Infield fly rule should be invoked, and it is. Correa will put it away for out number 2. Verlander hasn't had to pitch with the bases loaded often this year, just the 4th batter all season. And he gets Adrianza to pop up on the first pitch.
Real nice to get that pop out on the first pitch. I understand the aggressiveness of Adrianza. You don't want to fall behind on Justin Verlander, even though it's been a rough inning. But you know, guaranteed with the bases loaded after a couple of walks, he's going to be very aggressive with the fastball. Just missed it.
Now the number 9 hitter, Chris Jimenez. Jimenez spent the season with the Cubs up until just a few days ago when he was involved in a trade for Bobby Wilson. Spent most of the year AAA with the Iowa Cubs. And he takes a called strike. Jimenez in his first game with the Twins was a pitcher coming off the bench in a blowout game against the Rangers and allowed 2 home runs and then hit a home run himself. Down to the count here, 0-2. Houston native Robbie Grossman on third, Tyler Austin the pinch runner on second, and Max Kepler on first with 2 outs. He got him. Verlander with the strikeout to Strand. The base is loaded. We head to the bottom of the second. It's 4-0 Astros. An opening pitcher go for the Twins in this game. Trevor May, he is out after 1 inning. And a nice hand for the young 23-year-old from St. Pius High School who's in the game, Cole Stewart.
Hometown, Houston, Texas. TK said St. Pius ex-high school, 4th overall pick in 2013 by Minnesota. 4 starts this season, 0-1. He's given up 12 earned runs in those 16 1/3 innings pitched. He is fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup, averaging 93 miles an hour on that fastball.
Makes his 5th appearance in a major league uniform, just called up this year, 4 starts. And now his first appearance out of the bullpen. But Paul Molitor is looking for some extended innings out of Stewart in this outing, as kept with a 1-1 count. But a nice ovation for the kid who grew up right here in Tomball. Dad Mark, his mom Lisa. A lot of friends and family in attendance tonight. Not only was he a stud pitcher at St. Pius, he was an outstanding quarterback as well. Had a chance to go to Texas A&M. With the 4th overall pick by the Twins, chose the professional baseball route. But the road to the major leagues for the 4th overall pick has not been as smooth as he would like. In fact, this offseason he was left unprotected in the Rule 5 draft. Anybody could have picked him up, and he went unclaimed, and then here he is making his big league debut this season. August 11th was his first start against the Tigers in Detroit. Last time he pitched out of the bullpen was all the way back in his rookie season with the Gulf Coast League Twins. Started every game since then. Elizabethtown, Cedar Rapids, Fort Myers, Chattanooga, and Rochester. Now 4 starts with the Twins before this relief appearance. He had a long time to wait since he warmed up. And he gets a strikeout of the first batter he faces. Tony Kemp goes down looking. It had an electric arm for baseball and football in high school.
Hearing that he had a 0.17 ERA his senior year in high school, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of helps when the backdrop is the same color as the baseball. That looks tough. Ball jumping out of his hand. Let's see what a lot of the scouts were looking at when they were putting him on those prospect lists.
How about George Springer? He's seen 2 pitches tonight and he's 2 for 2.
Stay right there.
Yeah, he had the 0.18 ERA as a senior, and he also in his career threw for 8,831 yards.
That's pretty good.
That's a studly high school career. Both of his siblings also went to Texas A&M in addition to both of his parents. So a little pressure to become an Aggie, but he became the 4th overall pick of the Twins, and here he is in the major league, so he is very pleased with his decision. Jose Altuve hit the ball hard his first time up and now fouls one back.
Yeah, that first round money can pay for a couple of scholarships.
There were people thinking this offseason when he was not claimed in the Rule 5 pick that he might still reconsider. And we've seen it before.
Yep.
Where players start their professional career in baseball and then go back to college as a quarterback. But those were just rumors. Stewart said he never intended to go back to school. He was focused on baseball, and he came to spring training and dove into the analytics with the Twins front office and said, how can I get better? Kind of changed his grip on what was a 2-seam fastball. He now throws a 1-seam fastball to go along with the regular 4-seam. As Altuve fouls one back, it's 1-2. He's had to deal with a lot of injuries in his young career. That's part of the reason why he has not had the dominant minor league numbers that you might expect for a 4th overall pick. Inside on Altuve, and it's 2-2. Altuve was in his 3rd season with the Astros when Cole Stewart was in his senior year in high school. So this at bat has to mean a little something special to him. And he gets a ground ball towards Forsythe. They flip to short for 1, and Altuve grounds into an inning-ending double play. A strikeout and a double play, and Stewart a shutout first inning.
First base play has been pretty good. Tyler White making a nice play going to his right. Yuli Gurriel has really been the guy over there the entire course of the season, but some opportunities arising to get teed up. Some time over there making the snatch. But Yuli has taken some of that athleticism from third base and moved it over there to first base, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. The Astros in 2018, fourth in Major League Baseball. Team record is 997 back in 2008.
I think those other starts at second base and third base really helped him when he moves back to first base. It keeps him fresh. I think he really likes moving around the infield a little bit. And the best we've seen Yuli defensively, and also the best we've seen him run in the 3 seasons he's been here with Houston. So a big love working wonders over there at first base this year. Joe Mauer leads off the 3rd inning against Justin Verlander. Verlander with a couple of walks and a single in the 2nd inning. He's able to strand the bases loaded after the Twins filled him up with 1 out.
It's pretty impressive how the Astros, just speaking of defense, to have a couple of displaced guys on the infield and still play great defense. Alex Bregman, still, if you asked him, what are you? He'd say a shortstop. And I'm sure Yuli feels he can still go over there and play third base, but the way the infield configuration is, it's better this way.
Ball looped in the shallow left. Tony Kemp was shaded that way, and he's over by the line to make the play for out number 1. 2 walks last inning, unusual for JV. He has only walked 3 as a high this year. That's happened in 3 different starts. So to walk 2 in 1 inning, a rarity. But no runs scored, and now he'll face Logan Forsythe. Forsythe lined out his first time up. And he lines this one over the head of Carlos Correa into left center field. Well, Forsythe, as Blummer mentioned last at bat, doing a nice job with the Twins. Another base hit. He now has 33 hits and 105 at bats.
Join the Astros Foundation and the Houston Police Department for the annual Badges and Bases H-Town Rundown presented by Chenier. This family-friendly 5K and 10K run takes place Saturday the 29th, with proceeds benefiting both organizations. To register, visit astros.com/run.
That'll bring up Jorge Polanco. Polanco popped up his first time up. Starts him off with a breaking ball for ball 1. Justin pitched against the Twins back on a very cold day in April on the 9th. 35 degrees at game time at Target Field. Ended up going 7 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. It was his 18th career win against Minnesota, against 9 losses. Tonight working with an early lead of 4 runs for the first time as an Astro. Down to the count here to Polanco, 2-0. Out of play.
The shift is on, and we are going to check out our StatCast AI powered by AWS. Shows you why Alex Bregman is all by himself. It's not because he's so on fire that everybody's getting away from him. It's only because there's 17% of the chance the ball is going to come his way. Everything else going up the middle and to that pull side. Wow. That's a pretty good pitch.
Was. Didn't get the call.
Yeah, but I think some of the mics on the field you can pick up. Very deep voice, also known as Brent Strom, imploring that home plate umpire Nick Marley watch that pitch a little bit closer and help out his pitcher.
Pop up on the 3-1 pitch. Carlos Correa drifts out. Makes the play for out number 2. bring up Robbie Grossman. He singled his first time up. Grossman playing in 100 games at Minute Maid Park prior to tonight. Most of them in an Astros uniform. Robbie coming into the game 260, batting 234 as a left-hand hitter.
Changeup. See too many of those from Justin.
I'm not sure if we've seen one of those since the Shohei Ohtani home run, because he did not throw one last start against the Angels.
No, when he's been pretty open about how he's not too comfortable with it, but threw a great one right there. And to be honest, he really hasn't needed it.
2 starts ago, Ohtani got him with a double and a home run on the changeup in Anaheim, and then did not throw one in his last start. That breaking ball's been close tonight, but hasn't been getting any called strikes on it. It's 2-1.
Going with the pitch that has a better chance of being called a strike because there's too much movement on the other one.
Ball's hit hard into right field. Long run for Reddick to dig it out. Forsythe being waved around. And the throw overshoots Yuli Gurriel and is loose on the infield. But that was an RBI double for Grossman. It's now 4-1 game.
Grossman seeing the ball pretty good off Justin. Back-to-back hits. Trying to come inside. Cut a little bit too much of the fat part of the plate, and Robbie does a good job of pulling the hands in. And again, with that shift being employed in the outfield, a long run for Josh Reddick to get over there, and not a typical throw from Josh Reddick. Really got away from everybody.
So Verlander allows his first run of the game. Now he'll face Jake Cave. Ball gets away. That'll be the second wild pitch of the game. As Grossman advances to third.
Hot cold zones in August, a lot of those pitches catching the middle part of the plate. When we talk about the fat part of the plate, it's usually that center portion of the plate where pitches are left out over the plate and guys have a great time getting the barrel to them. But middle in, where a lot of those pitches are missing, you'd like to see a little more on the edges from Justin Verlander.
There's a strike. It's 1-1. Just went back on Baseball Savant to verify that was his first changeup since Ohtani's home run 2 starts ago. Threw 99 pitches last start against the Angels at home and did not throw a changeup in that outing. 1-2 the count on Cave.
Nice work by you.
Well, sometimes you remember things, but you want to make sure they're right. And I thought that was the last changeup because he doesn't throw many.
No.
And when they get hit like they did 2 starts ago for a double and a home run, you wonder when that's going to come back. And he showed a good one to Grossman before he was able to hit the fastball for a double. Jake Cave fouls one back. Cave started the season with the New York Yankees. He was designated for assignment in spring training and then involved in a trade to the Twins. Made his big league debut with Minnesota on May the 19th. And a foul tip caught by Maldonado. That's strikeout number 3 for Verlander. He is tied with Garrett Cole for the AL lead in strikeouts.
On Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. All right, home run dugout celebrations. Which Olympic sport should be part of the next Astros dugout celebration? Should it be synchronized swimming, bobsledding, rhythmic gymnastics, or relay racing? This is what happened yesterday. This is where the theme started, I think, right here with Bregman's home run. This was all Bregman's idea. It happened during VP. But I thought they executed really nicely. The curling. George didn't take any credit for this. He said that was all Bregman.
He almost... go ahead, Julie. I'm sorry.
No, but I can't vote in the poll because I think I know what's coming.
You've been tipped off to the next celebration?
Well, I've just been paying attention. Yeah, things that happen in the dugout. There's a little bit of practicing and discussions over the choreography.
There's choreography going on in between innings.
Yeah.
These guys don't have enough going on. Got to practice.
Is that part of an Instagram story? Have we seen this yet?
I am not going to disclose any. Yeah.
But you have an idea.
I do.
All right. Is it one of those 4 choices? Can you?
Yes.
Wow. I would think rhythmic gymnastics would involve other, like, ribbons or apparatus.
Orbit has some. Just borrow his ribbons.
Whoa. I'm out of this one, guys. You got this.
You've seen that performance.
No.
Well, Bregman's got a 3-1 count here.
We may have a shot to see it.
We may have a shot. Bregman has home runs in 3 straight games.
They were practicing one of those yesterday, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That may be what Julia saw also. But we're not giving it away. 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike. Cole Stewart, second inning of work, came on out of the bullpen, but this is kind of his start, if you will, or his start day. They went with an opening pitcher. Now Stewart will get the brunt of the work from here. On the ground towards third, gobbled up by Adrianza, and makes the play on Bregman. A short hop there for out number 1.
It's a pretty good play by Adrianza, moving to his left.
So the celebration will have to wait.
Yeah, we're going to have to put it on hold. There's Adrianza showing some good hands. It's a recognition of that hop, and it's the anticipation and imagination on where that ball might be, but that was a nice pickup.
Here's Carlos Correa, popped up his first time up. And he pops this one towards the crowd down the first base line and about 4 rows deep. Astros getting a 4 spot in the first inning. Yuli Gurriel, a 2-run home run. Tyler White, an RBI base hit, and Alex Bregman, an RBI double off the wall in left. Correa playing his 23rd game back from the DL. Chop towards short. And the low throw, scooped by Joe Mauer. Nice play by Mauer to save Polanco on a throw in the dirt. Out number 2. The Astros Foundation invites you to join the volunteer corps, take part in various volunteer opportunities, including game day activities at the ballpark, craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. For more info and to sign up, visit astros.com/volunteer. Fun night tonight at the ballpark, Dollar Dog Night. And ticket prices were reduced for tonight and tomorrow night. A lot of fans here watching the first place Houston Astros looking for back-to-back division titles. But the A's haven't gone anywhere. Oakland winning last night 6-3 against the Yankees. They are still 2.5 games back. White takes a called strike.
Yeah, the Oakland faithful getting a little bit of a preview of what could be that wild card. But if it ended today, they'd have to fly all the way to New York to play that wild card.
Yeah, the Yankees right now kind of in between. They're in between trailing the Red Sox by 8.5 games. And they're also ahead of the A's by 3.5 games in the wild card race. So obviously they want to do what they can to try and catch Boston, but they also want to make sure they at least have the #1 wild card. Tyler White into right field, a long run, and a catch made by Kepler against the fence on the warning track. Cole Stewart with a 1-2-3 third inning. Entertainment Group. This homestand wraps up tomorrow against the Minnesota Twins. The Astros 5-3 so far on this 10-game homestand, and then a day off Thursday. On to Boston for a weekend series. Speaking of playoff previews, that could be a preview of the ALCS. And then the Tigers for 3 beginning Monday at Comerica Park. Right now, the Red Sox not playing their best baseball of the season, but they still have a comfortable 95-44 record and an 8.5 game lead over the Yankees. Tyler Austin leads off. Miguel Sano was initially the DH, injured himself sliding into second base. It is a lower leg bruise, the left leg. Sano day to day. He was carted off the field, and Austin with a count of 0-2. Boston, another guy like Jake Cave, acquired from the Yankees. Parts of 3 seasons with New York the last 3 years before moving to the Twins. And a called third strike. Verlander passes his teammate Garrett Cole, now leads the AL in strikeouts. That was strikeout number 244. Well, here we go, Blummer. If the season ended today, here's how it would break down.
You like that setup a lot better. The Athletics with a tough task going all the way to New York to try and beat the Yankees and earn the right to go play the Red Sox. That would be an interesting matchup between the Indians and Astros. The Astros have played well against the Central. They played better against the Indians this year than they did last year. Last year I would have been a little skeptical on how that was going to work out, but this season everything trending in the right direction as far as health and getting some of these swings back. Be a fun matchup. Be a good pitching matchup, that Indians-Astros matchup.
Oh man,
my goodness.
It's one of those series where you get a couple of runs by the 6th inning, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. This year more than most, winning the division will carry a lot of weight. You consider the possibility of having to go through the Yankees and Boston to get to the ALCS if you're the second wild card team, as opposed to being the home team in a matchup with the Indians. That is a huge difference between the 2 and 5 seeds if you win the division or finish second in the AL West. AJ realizes that. He wants his team to push as hard as possible for as long as possible to clinch that division and maybe get a little breather going into the postseason if at all possible. Swing and a miss to Kepler. It's 2-2.
Another changeup.
How about it?
Feeling it.
2 swings and misses on a couple of changeups today.
They've showed good action on him too, fading away and a little depth to it, dropping out of the zone.
He found that changeup in the postseason last year and used it sparingly but effectively. This one in on Kepler. It's 3-2. Kepler walked his first time up. Well, Verlander can add that to the fastball, slider, curveball repertoire. It's a pretty nice little wrinkle. Twins have 3 hits this game. Justin's also walked a couple. He struck out 4. Ball hit on the ground. Yuli gobbles it up. He'll flip to Verlander covering for out number 2.
Purchase 2019 season tickets now and get great benefits, including guaranteed tickets for the 2018 postseason. For more information, visit astros.com/postseason or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Two outs, bases empty. A-Ray Adrianza will bat. Adrianza popped up with the bases loaded and 1 out on the first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning. That's a breaking ball for a strike. Verlander with 201 victories, all of them in the American League, which is tied for 36th all time in the AL. Tied with Mark Burley and Tommy John. Also continues to move up the strikeout list all time. He started the year 42nd. He's now 24th. Up to 26-60 in his career. Up next will be David Cone at 26-68. Ahead of Adrianza, 1-2.
Verlander's led the American League in strikeouts 4 times throughout his career also.
Career high 269 in 09. Very good chance to eclipse that this year. Justin should have 4 more starts after tonight. Astros with 24 games remaining. Verlander, if he does make 4 more starts, will end up with 34 on the year. And right now just 25 strikeouts from his career high. We do know one record that should be broken. Verlander and Cole as a tandem should set the mark for the most strikeouts ever in Astros franchise history. Right now they trail a couple of seasons with Nolan Ryan and Mike Scott combining for 500 and 503 strikeouts. Both these guys approaching 250 strikeouts on the season. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Verlander. A 1-2-3-4. Astros leading 4-1. Home runs, but he connected yesterday afternoon on a Labor Day contest, and just a little while ago in his first at bat tonight.
Yeah, that's another bat the Astros would like to see get going. It was last year that he really burst onto the scene in that postseason, barreling some baseballs up. He's usually a high exit velo guy, a good professional hitter that stays up the middle the other way. But if you make a couple of mistakes, he still has the ability to turn on you.
Facing Cole Stewart for the first time. Stewart's been impressive so far coming out of the bullpen. He's allowed a single, but faced the minimum through 2 innings with a double play involved. Stewart's made 4 starts in his big league career. 23-year-old from right here in Houston. Facing Gurriel, Josh Reddick, and Martin Maldonado. Stewart has a big fan club here tonight, as we mentioned earlier, and they had kind of the perfect scenario in that they're Astros fans and Cole Stewart fans. So when Stewart entered the game, the Astros were already up 4-1 or 4-0. They can cheer for Stewart as much as they want, as long as Verlander stays solid on the other side, and still come away with both a good outing for their friend or family member and an Astros victory.
Be able to sleep much better tonight.
We have seen some St. Pius pitchers in this homestand. Saw Justin Anderson earlier with the Angels, and now Cole Stewart for the first time against the Astros. And Yuli grounds one towards third, gloved by Adrianza. Another nice play by the Twins third baseman. He Retired Bregman on a nice play to start the third, and now gets Hughley to start the fourth.
Yeah, Brooks Adrianza is at third base for the Minnesota Twins tonight. We've tested him a couple times moving to his left, and he's answered. It was nicely done. Those are some in-between hops. It's one thing to be able to catch it, but then make a strong throw across the diamond to get a hustling Hughley.
I'll bring up Josh Reddick. Reddick with an infield hustle single his first time up. Mentioned Stewart and Justin Anderson in this homestand. They are the second and third major leaguers from St. Pius. Anderson second, Cole Stewart third. The original Gary Majeski from 2004 through 2010. Started his career with the Expos, then he was with the Nationals when they moved to Washington, Cincinnati, and the Astros a couple of games in 2010.
A teammate briefly, still lives in the area. Saw him in the postseason last year. Cruising the concourse.
Three pitchers from the St. Pius Panthers, and we're seeing Stewart tonight facing his hometown team. And 2-2 to Reddick. Injuries throughout his career: shoulder in 14, elbow in 15. Last year, a couple of bouts with left knee tendonitis put him on the DL, limited him to 17 starts. Line drive past the diving Joe Mauer into right field. Josh Reddick, a one-out base hit. Astros' seventh hit of the night, second against Cole Stewart.
Fifth pitch, well off that outside corner. They tried to attack that outside corner again, yanked it down and in, and Josh Reddick reacting down and in nicely. Pretty simple bat path for a left-handed hitter.
Bring up Martin Maldonado, who popped up his first time up. Maldonado making his 19th start with the Astros. Struggled his first 5 games, but lately he's been really good. Last 14 games hitting at .324 with 3 home runs. Kind of that breather in between starts too, with Max Stassi earlier, now Brian McCann. Maldonado caught a lot of baseball games before he became an Astro.
Caught a ton last year for Mike Scioscia also. It's kind of become his MO. Just one of those guys that will go out and catch every day back there. Earned himself that Gold Glove last year too.
Since McCann's been activated, we have seen them go back and forth every other day. Stassi yet to get a start since McCann came off the DL. So we'll see how that plays out in the final 24 games.
And it's early to start talking about playoff rosters. You got to go out and win the division first and earn the right to go to the playoffs. But we saw the Astros go with 3 catchers in the playoffs last year.
Last year, the Astros with Brian McCann, Evan Gattis, and Juan Centeno opening ALDS against the Red Sox. This year, the Red Sox look like they will be the #1 seed in the American League, barring something unusual. Red Sox winning again tonight in Atlanta, 3-1. Maldonado down to the count 0-2. Pop-up, Mauer looking over his head and makes a little basket catch back to the plate.
It's pretty fancy.
It was second out of the inning.
It's time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Cy-Fair High School debuted with the Astros, patrolling the outfield. If you know who that Astro is, make sure you tweet that answer to @ATT Sportsnet SW. We will get back to you later to let you know if you were right, which is more likely than not.
I even got that one.
Holy cow, you know it's easy.
Yeah, right? Here's Tony Kemp. Kemp struck out looking his first time up. He was the first batter Cole Stewart faced tonight. Stewart misses outside for ball one. Stewart in place of Trevor May, who was the opening pitcher and allowed 4 runs in the first inning. So far, a couple of singles allowed by Cole. The 1 strikeout of Kemp, no walks. In the minors for Cole Stewart over the course of his 5 seasons of baseball before this year, a total of 462 innings, 305 strikeouts. Wasn't picking up as many strikeouts as the Twins initially thought based on his arm coming out of high school, but he's, as we mentioned, dealt with some injuries along the way and kind of addressed his pitch repertoire. And he gets a ground ball to Forsythe here. That's 3 shutout innings for the kid from St. Pius, and it's still 4-1 Astros. The Players Weekend nicknames, and Justin Verlander gets charged $1 million for lunch in Los Angeles. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show only on AT&T Sportsnet. Astros leading this game 4-1 thanks to a 4-run first inning, and Justin Verlander will face the number 9 hitter Chris Jimenez, followed by the top of the order. Verlander a 1-2-3 first and fourth innings. A little bit of traffic in the second and third. Twins scoring in the third, leaving the bases loaded in the second. And he starts off Jimenez with a strike. Chris was with the Twins last year, so not as difficult to learn this pitching staff as maybe if he came over like Martin Maldonado, having not played with Houston before, as Bregman takes the sharp ground ball and turns it into an out. One away in the fifth.
It's time to get out and play. Brought to you by Toyota. Justin Verlander's year in review, pretty good. Adding to those strikes in 2017, ended up throwing in that clinching game against the Seattle Mariners. Eventually went on to win the ALCS MVP. They dominant in that New York Yankees series.
And that's why when we were breaking down the playoff brackets before, you never know. That whole time, Astros thinking if they get by Boston, they'll have to match up with a Cleveland team that dominated them during the regular season. Cleveland led the Yankees in their ALDS, and the Yankees came back to take the last couple of games to force an ALCS, New York versus Houston.
Really shook up that playoff schedule. There's not too many people were counting on the Yankees to get past the Cleveland Indians and that dominant pitching.
Astros would end up with home field advantage in the ALCS, which proved to be huge as the home team won all 4 games in that series. Joe Mauer takes a called strike. It's 1-2. This year, the American League seems to have the advantage for the home field in the World Series. Right now, 4 of the 5 teams that would qualify for the playoffs in the American League would have a better record than the team with the best record in the National League, the Cubs. Joe Mauer with a count of 2-2. In the AL, you can't have home field advantage if you're the wild card team and you're facing a team that won the division. But in the World Series, they revert back to strictly best record. In the air, right center field. Reddick was playing very close to that spot, drifts back near the track and makes the play for out number 2. That ball close to straightaway center field, and Reddick made the play easy. Josh will have a long walk back to his right field position for Logan Forsythe with 2 outs. Forsythe singled and scored the lone run for the Twins. Hit the ball hard twice, also lined out to Tony Kemp. Verlander trying for a low pitch count inning, had an 11 pitch first inning. 68 pitches through 4, making his 10th pitch of this inning. And this one will drift towards the crowd and out of play. It's 1-2. A couple more tweets on our Twitter Tuesday. We asked you about reflections of Hurricane Harvey and how the Astros may have played a role. Beyonce and I live in LA. World Series Game 7. Explained that he had been standing in 5 feet of water as he was sitting next to another fan who wouldn't sit.
Which are still tough pictures to see. Championship definitely gave citizens of Houston something to cheer about.
Verlander will have an 11-pitch inning here in the 5th as he retires the side. That's 7 in a row sent down by Justin. We're halfway home with the Astros leading 4-1.
From iTunes or Google Play, or visit ATTSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. George Springer leading things off for us here, 2 for 2 today. And we saw him have a 3-hit game a couple of days ago. Hopefully things trending in the right direction for George. We've talked about that, and his swing, maybe his timing, not exactly where he wants it to be, but not too far away either. And guys, talking about this with him today, he wanted no part of an excuse. He said, there's no time for that. It is September. I have got to get on my game as fast as I possibly can. Yes, I missed games. Yes, I didn't have it as many at bats as I wanted to during the stretches that I was injured, but I cannot make excuses this time of year. It's a good mindset for George, guys.
Yeah, it really is, and he's turned in 2 pitches into 2 singles tonight. First 2 pitches he has taken this game have been in this AB, and he's ahead of the count, 2-0.
And on that last swing, we talk about the balance. Watch the front hip. The foot gets down. The hip is starting to clear a little bit, but I want you to keep an eye on that elbow and that back hip. If everything is going right in a perfect world, those hands, or that elbow and that hip, come through the zone together. Earlier we were seeing that front hip kind of fly open a little bit on George, and it led to the hands dragging a little bit.
3-0 pitch is ground to second into the shift. Springer is retired for the first out of the 5th inning. Cole Stewart's been impressive so far, allowing just 2 singles in 3 1/3 innings. He has relied primarily on that one-seam fastball that he toyed around with this spring, and now he faces Jose Altuve. And Altuve breaks his bat, sends one to short. Polanco retires Altuve, who's now 0 for 3 tonight. And there's 2 away. Stewart has thrown 30 of 46 pitches with that variation of the 2-seam fastball, the 1-seam fastball that goes more down to hitters as opposed to the run in on right-hand hitters. He's been strong so far. 8 ground ball outs, using that pitch primarily 2/3 of the time. Here's Bregman. He grounded out last time he faced Stewart. He also doubled off the wall for the Astros' first run his first time up. Drops in a curveball for a strike. Pulls one foul. That ball slicing to right field, hit pretty well by Alex, and that'll be down into the corner, and it bounces up over the wall for a double. Alex Bregman, his second double of the night and his 45th of the season.
Alex, 2 bags. Just love watching him go after the baseball. The eyes are down on the barrel. It'll be interesting to get down and talk to Alex and see if he can actually see the baseball hit the barrel at the rate he's going right now. That would be a rare thing to see. But the way he is dialed in, and when he is going well, the nose down on the baseball, watching contact, staying through the swing, everything about it is absolutely a joy for me to watch as he goes about his business.
Is that something that ever happened for you?
Yeah, a couple of times when you're going really good and you're just dialed in and you watch the eyes. The head's already moving in anticipation of where that pitch is going to be, and then he just brings the barrel to that contact point and his head stays down on it. It's amazing.
So there's a few ABs where your eyes actually see the ball hit the barrel.
Yes. Yeah, when the timing is right and the anticipation, the pitch is in the perfect spot, the barrel is going to where you're hoping it is going. It happens a little more frequently for guys like Alex Bregman as opposed to maybe guys who are role players or pinch hitters like I was in my career, but it does happen. But the frequency, I would imagine, is a little bit more for Alex just because of the simplicity of the swing and the ability.
George has a good RBI opportunity here. 2-0 count. Alex on second with 2 outs. Carlos takes a strike.
Baggy, that was one of the questions. I mean, not one of the questions. One of the conversations I had with Jeff Bagwell in spring training. You know, we were talking about hitting, and he said that he recognized when he was ready to retire is when he couldn't. When he stopped being able to see the spin off the bat that he wanted. And that's when he said, yep, might be time to retire. But that amazed me in itself, that he was recognizing rotation of the baseball off his bat when he was hitting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the guy who
next
slows
level.
it down. Yeah,
Yep.
that is next level, Hall of Fame level. 2-2 the count.
That's a guy who could rack up home runs, doubles, and RBIs also throughout his career, earning his way into that Hall of Fame. How about the fact that they congratulate him and put him in the Hall of Fame, build him a plaque, put his number in the rafters, and then every once in a while he has to sit next to us.
He'll join us for one more broadcast on the next homestand. We've had the pleasure,
Cannot wait,
of having Jeff Bagwell in the booth on a once-a-month basis.
It'll be fun to talk to Baggy in September, watching this ball club, get his thoughts and maybe memories of some of the pennant runs he's been on with some ball clubs. Maybe by then some of these guys will be scorching hot, swinging the bats, and we'll have some more fun talking about some very good ball players currently.
He'll be with us on the 15th with the Diamondbacks in town. That'll be a week from Saturday. And certainly Carlos Correa is one of those guys the Astros would love to see get rolling. Carlos is coming off the DL, 14 for 81. he takes ball 4 outside. So the Astros with 2 outs have a couple of runners on. A Bregman double followed by a Correa walk. Bregman getting to 45 doubles on the season. That has happened 9 times in Astros history. Craig Biggio, the all-time leader for doubles in one season with 56 in 1999. Here's Tyler White. White with an RBI single his first time up.
Yeah, Alex is sitting at 28 home runs, 45 doubles, 90 RBIs.
That OPS just keeps going up.
Man.
Started the day at 935. He's approaching 950 with a couple of doubles tonight. Outside ball 1. The guys who have had 45 doubles or more in one season in Astros history: Craig Biggio twice, or 3 times rather. Lance Berkman twice. Jeff Bagwell, Jose Altuve, and your buddy Miguel Tejada.
Miggy.
Miggy had 46 in 2009. Strike call to White. It's 1-1. So Alex will keep moving up those charts. Only 3 seasons of 50 doubles in Astros history. Biggio twice and Berkman once. See if Tyler White can add to this 4-1 lead. Fastball, it's 1-2. All 4 starts for Cole Stewart this year. He's allowed exactly 3 runs. Started in Cleveland, and home against Oakland and Detroit. Started back in Detroit. Faced the Tigers back-to-back outings. Has gone anywhere from 2 2/3 to 4 2/3 innings in his 4 starts. And allowed exactly 3 runs, 3 earned in all 4 of those starts. Tonight, though, 3 2/3 scoreless thus far. Outside to White, it's 2-2.
Maggie's watching. He just yelled at me.
He did.
Yeah, he said, "Quit talking about me."
All caps. Is that yelling?
Yep. I'm used to it.
You guys have such a good friendship.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of that. You know, in the years past, but then to move back here and become a Houstonian again and have this job and hang out with him every once in a while is tremendous.
White on the ground to third, and Stewart strands 2 in the inning. We're through 5. It's 4-1. by Rooms to Go, where you'll save even more when you buy the whole room, and delivery is fast and easy. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. 4-1 baseball, Justin Verlander, working with an early lead, has kept it going as we head to the 6th inning. It'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Twins. Jorge Polanco, Robbie Grossman, Jake Cave. Astros out hitting Minnesota 8-3. Polanco has popped up a couple of times tonight against Verlander. And Justin starts him off with a strike on the outside corner. Verlander 11 pitch inning in the first, 11 pitch inning in the 5th. Since that double by Robbie Grossman scored the first run, Justin has retired the next 7 batters. We've mentioned the changeup a couple of times tonight because he's broken it out, gotten some swings and misses. Last year, the opposition hitting .341 against the changeup. And it's kind of been a pitch that he has tinkered with. It's never been a key pitch in his repertoire, but if he can break that out in key spots, especially against lefty hitters, that's a nice weapon.
Yeah, because that's not something you're anticipating seeing from Justin Verlander just because of the tendencies you're talking about.
Chop back to the mound. Verlander makes the play to Yuli for out number 1. 8 in a row sent down by JV.
Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. AL Cy Young candidates. Justin Verlander on that list, 2.76 ERA. Chris Sale having a phenomenal season with that 12-4 record and sub-2 ERA. Corey Kluber, heavy on the wins. Another guy that might get some consideration is Blake Trinan out there in Oakland doing a phenomenal job out of the bullpen. 36 of 40 saves, but that ERA under 1.
Justin's thrown about 40 more innings right now than Chris Sale. And they expect Sale back shortly on the next homestand for the Red Sox. But he's not going to come out and throw 5 or 6 innings his first outing. They're going to kind of build him up as if their rehab starts. Justin breaks open over a strike. Robbie Grossman down on the count 0-2. But Verlander can very well put himself in that mix for Cy Young here based on what he does over his last 5 starts.
Now leading the American League in strikeouts. Garrett Cole, a couple of shutouts, and he could pitch himself into that conversation also. He is second in strikeouts in the American League, and it seems like it's going to be a battle between him and Justin to see who ends up with that league lead.
Up the middle, Bregman to his left, and Grossman retired for the first time tonight.
Some other guys on that list too. Blake Snell on the right-hand side, quietly down there in Tampa Bay, having a phenomenal year. Trevor Bauer on the DL, and there it is, Garrett Cole.
Garrett will pitch over the weekend against the Red Sox as he and Verlander keep going back and forth every other start for the strikeout lead. Justin won it in 2011, and he's finished top 3 4 different seasons, including the win, and top 5 in 6 different seasons. At age 35, some of his numbers are very close to his best years of his career. In fact, this is his biggest strikeout season in terms of strikeouts per 9. It's also his lowest walk per 9 season.
Walk number's been incredible this season.
That's why the 2 walks in that inning, in the 2nd inning, were kind of unusual. He's got a chance to end up with his most strikeouts in one season in his career. And that's impressive for a lot of reasons. Number 1, he's 35. Number 2, he's pitched 230, 235, 240 innings in the past. And this year he won't come close to that number, which you're glad, because
the strikeout per 9 is way up.
You want this guy fresh for the postseason, and he's looking fresh lately as he has retired 10 in a row. Another 1-2-3 inning for Verlander with strikeout number 6.
And tomorrow to remember Hurricane Harvey 1 year later by purchasing a Stay Strong t-shirt for only $10. 100% of the proceeds benefit the Astros Foundation. Visit astros.com/Houston Strong for more details. Gotta get up and get one of those. It's a good looking t-shirt.
Absolutely. Part of the Houston Strong series. Astros and Twins. We remember and honor all the first responders before the game and throughout this 3-game set with Minnesota. Yuli leads off the bottom half of the 6th inning. It'll be Yuli, Josh Reddick, and Martin Maldonado. Twitter Tuesday is also focused on your thoughts, your reflections, your memories of the year since Hurricane Harvey and how the Astros may have been a part of that recovery process. One pitch is inside for a ball, 2-1. Yuli with a home run his first time up, a 2-run home run, giving the Astros a 4-0 lead at the time. He's also grounded out. Andrew Vasquez continues to warm up in the Twins bullpen. He is joined out there by the right-hander Oliver Drake. This kid's been impressive. Cole Stewart, his best outing of his big league career after 4 starts, coming out of the bullpen for 4 shutout innings against the defending world champions and his hometown team growing up.
He's done a good job tying him up. You talked about that two-seamer that he has. He's really done a good job of getting in on the hands of right-handed hitters.
That one way in.
That might be a little excessive.
But you know this is a big night. We have seen a lot of his family and friends standing after all of his innings. So far 4 shutout innings. Many of them wearing Texas A&M gear. But he is also approaching 70 pitches in this relief appearance. And he strikes out Yuli Gurriel. Second strikeout for Stewart, 1 out in the 6th. Well, on this Twitter Tuesday, we asked you about your thoughts, and Rebecca took in a friend who lost to the entire house. If it weren't for the pleasant distraction of the Astros, there would not be much to smile about. Southern Brazoria County.
Wow. Still can't believe some of these pictures that we see. They've rebuilt better than ever.
It's a lot of work as Josh sends one into shallow right, so shallow that second baseman Logan Forsythe is there for out number 2. 2.5 feet of water in my house, said Eric. So he and his wife moved in with his parents, watched the game 7 in separate rooms. Didn't want to jinx it.
That is a diehard fan.
Here's Martin Maldonado. Maldonado misses the breaking ball. Three hits, 1 walk allowed by Stewart over 4 2/3 innings. Springer, Reddick, and Bregman with the hits. Correa drew the walk. Guy's locked in. He has been on a roll, retiring 10 in a row. We're watching a 23-year-old on the other side do a nice job against his teammates. It's a night Cole Stewart will never forget. 23-year-old makes his first major league bullpen appearance, his 5th overall outing, and has done a great job against the Astros tonight. Had only faced the Astros minor league affiliates back in 2014 when he was with Cedar Rapids against Quad Cities. Tonight going against the team he grew up watching right here in Tomball. Baseball and football star from St. Pius has a full count on Maldonado. That little one-seamer he throws for a called strike. 5 shutout innings for Cole Stewart. 4-1 game.
The Twins was to get out, take the lead early. George Springer did a nice job of getting on for Alex Bregman, who has given the Astros the lead in both today and yesterday's game. Driving in Springer early, and then Tyler White staying hot, driving in Bregman. How about Yuli Gurriel, though, with a 2-run shot to give them a 4-run lead. They're 69-13 when scoring 4 more runs. After that, there was a La Pina stare. Nicely done, but they got after Trevor May in that first inning. giving some support to Justin Verlander, guys.
And Justin keeps moving up the charts of the most strikeouts in one season in Astros history. Passes Nolan Ryan's 1982 season. Currently 5th on the all-time list. Eric Cole currently 7th. As Justin starts off Tyler Austin with a strike. Austin struck out his first time up. Came on as a pinch runner for Miguel Sano in the 2nd inning. Sano left the game with a lower leg bruise. Austin with a count of 1-1. Verlander in the 2nd walked 2 and allowed a base hit. Stranded the bases loaded on a pop-up and strikeout to end the inning. 2-out double by Robbie Grossman in the 3rd. Scored the only run for the Twins. And now Verlander has retired 10 in a row.
Shrapnel off the mask of Maldonado.
Yeah, something popped off the mask.
Oh, good grief. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Apparently he's fine.
Yeah, the paint coming off that chin portion of the mask. He looks up. There you go.
Into left center. Tony Kemp is there. And Verlander retires Austin for the 1st out. Hockey goalie mask worn by a lot of catchers around the league, and part of that came off.
Oh, he got rattled. Glad he's okay. All the impact is on that brown leather pad you saw by his chin. That's all in that lower part of the jaw.
Here's Max Kepler, who grounded out his last time up, also has drawn a walk. Verlander 35 starts against the Twins coming in, matching his number. A little more than a full season. Usually get 33, 34 starts in a year, but during those 35 games coming in, he was 18-9 with an ERA just above 3 lifetime against Minnesota. Foul at the plate. Verlander ahead 1-2. Called 3rd strike. Kepler goes down looking. Strikeout number 7 for Verlander. 2 outs in the 7th.
RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Verlander approaching 100 pitches on the night. Astros have bullpen action for the first time as he faces A-Ray Adrianza. Former Twin Ryan Presley warming up as Adrianza swings to that first pitch. It looks like Ryan has already thrown enough pitches. He does not take very long to get ready. One thing AJ learned in a hurry was this guy gets ready in a hurry. 1-1 the count. Justin started the month of August with 7 2/3 innings. It was his longest outing of the month. His only outing where he went at least 7. Trying to go 7 tonight. Started off July with a 7-inning outing. That was also the longest of that month. Verlander has retired 12 in a row. And he's ahead of Adrianza, 1-2. Called third strike. Verlander with 8 strikeouts has retired 13 straight. And through 7 innings, the Astros lead 4-1.
Chevy Stropole, thank you for participating in our poll. We asked you which Olympic sport should be part of the next Astros home run dugout celebration, and 38% votes for synchronized swimming. That's the winner tonight. I would love to see that. Those are all great options. Hey, Blummer.
Yo. There it is.
There it is. The rhythmic gymnastics performance by Orbit, leotard and all. But that's what I was saying, they could borrow Orbit's ribbon.
Well, I was just going to see if Orbit would let me borrow the entire outfit and the ribbon if the Astros win the West again.
Be careful what you say.
I just sent you into a full panic, didn't I?
Orbit's probably listening.
On we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Oliver Drake, the new pitcher for the Twins.
TK's trying to gather himself.
Where have we seen Oliver Drake before?
I just got handed a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
That is going to take a while to get through because he's pitched for 5 teams this season. Oliver Drake has.
New Major League record.
Yeah. Opened the season with Milwaukee. Designated for assignment.
Kemp tries to bunt his way on. Good bunt. Mauer's flip. Not in time. Tony Kemp. Leadoff base runner in the 7th.
That was a heck of an effort by Joe Mauer down there. I'm not even sure how Drake picked that ball up because he was in a full sprint and had to reach down for that baseball that was on the ground. Great bunt, good speed by Tony. Right here, the flip doesn't go right, but it was a heck of a pickup by Drake. Tony Kemp hitting 9th, but doing a good job of leading off this inning for the Astros with the bunt base hit.
That was not an ideal flip with the glove.
Nope.
The Astros trying to tack on to that 4-1 lead.
So Drake is designated in May from Milwaukee, sold to Cleveland.
Okay.
while the Indians are in Milwaukee, so I just had to go across the hallway. Designated by the Indians, claimed by the Angels May 31st, sent to Salt Lake by Anaheim, recalled by the Angels, returned to Salt Lake, claimed by Toronto in July, and then eventually claimed by the Twins.
Hold on, I'm still at Salt Lake.
That was July 23rd when he returned to Salt Lake. 3 days later, he was claimed by Toronto. August 3rd, claimed by the Twins.
5 teams in one season. 2 of his 4 appearances with the Indians were against the Astros.
Unbelievable. And on top of that, he was sharing an apartment with Matt Belisle, who is now his teammate in that same Twins bullpen.
Sharing an apartment in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Crazy. 5 teams in 1 year. Milwaukee, Cleveland, the Angels, Toronto, now Minnesota. He has pitched against the Astros with the Angels and with Cleveland. And now he faces them with the Minnesota Twins.
What does his credit report look like breaking all those leases? Ooh.
That is a rough season of travel for Oliver Drake. But now appearing with the Twins and has been with them since the beginning of August. 11 appearances with the Minnesota Twins. Springer sends one high and deep to center field. Jake Cave all the way back, leaping, and he makes the catch. Tagging at first is Kemp. And he goes into second base. George Springer just missed a home run.
It is an out, but George should be pretty happy with this swing. Again, that back hip and that right elbow going in concert, creating some serious lift into center field. He barrels it up. Maybe that launch angle just a little bit too much, but a well-struck baseball by George.
You broke down the swing earlier. You're liking the swing tonight better some other nights we see?
I do. I absolutely do. That soft foot getting down early in the front is a good thing to see, but that front hip, when that foot gets down, is not leaving too early. They appeal it first on the tag of Tony Kemp, and they say that he is safe. Didn't leave too early. But yeah, when that front foot gets down, I'm not seeing the front hip open up too early, which means he's creating a firm front side to hit against. But again, that right elbow and that back hip, if those two pieces of the body are moving together, that means all the energy is going through that swing pretty balanced.
Here's Jose Altuve. See if Altuve can pick up his first hit tonight. Jose is battling. For him, seems like an 0 for 100, but it's an 0 for 16. Rarely see Jose go 16 at bats without a hit. He hit the ball hard his first time, up 104 miles an hour off the bat, but it was a line drive out to left. Did the same thing against the Angels on Sunday Night Baseball his first time up. Jose's still in the top 10 in hits with 146 despite this recent stretch. But one game without a hit. We've seen before a couple of games without a hit. Rarer. And for Altuve to go 4 games without a hit, it's almost unheard of.
Some computers blowing some serious gaskets up there in that building outside the left field wall. I'm trying to figure out how that's even possible for a guy like Jose Altuve.
Well, Jimenez is a new catcher to the Twins. Just came over in a trade from the Cubs, and we just documented Oliver Drake's journey. So there's a very good chance these two guys have not worked together.
Was it Edwin Jackson earlier in the season played for 13?
13th organization. But even he's never been on a team 5 teams in 1 year.
Well, that's what I mean. He's got to be on the fast track to beat that number, doesn't he? Doing 5 in 1 year.
2-1 the count to Jose. Prior to this year, Drake had pitched for the Orioles and Milwaukee. So he only had 2 teams going in, and Milwaukee has been one of his 5 teams this year.
It's another month left.
Tonight gives him his most appearances with the Twins than any of the other 4 teams. He had 11 with Milwaukee, 8 with the Angels, 4 with Cleveland, and 2 with Toronto. First inning, Trevor May gave up 4 runs to the Astros, and since then they have not scored anything. Credit Cole Stewart, 23-year-old out of St. Pius High School, who shut down the Astros for 5 innings. Stewart allowed 3 hits and a walk in 5 shutout innings against the defending world champs. Struck out 3, including 2 in his final inning. Inside to Altuve, it's 3-2. And Oliver Drake comes way over the top in his delivery.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, the way he comes set really heavy on that back leg, but immediately drops that right arm almost to the ground, and then it comes right over the top.
To third. Adrianza makes the play. Kemp will go to third on the ground out. Altuve, the second out of the inning.
The Shiners spotlight falls on. Let's go back in time and check out Lance Bregman having a phenomenal season in 2001. 34 home runs, 55 doubles, 126 RBIs. He is the only Astro in franchise history to have 30 or more home runs, 50 or more doubles, and 100 or more RBIs. Actually, only 18 players in the history of the game have ever done that. The reason that we are bringing up those numbers is because Alex Bregman is attempting to get there.
2 more doubles tonight. Number 44 and 45 on the year for Alex. The last 3 players to get to 30 home runs, 50 doubles, and 100 RBIs or more: Pujols and Matt Holliday and David Ortiz in 2007.
How about that? It's been done 18 times, twice in 2007.
Not a lot of players on that list the last dozen years. Bregman trying to reach that select company this year. With those 2 doubles, he's now tied for the major league lead in doubles. Eduardo Escobar has 45. Bregman has 45.
2 homers, 5 doubles, and 10 RBIs.
23 games after tonight. His doubles have been to the opposite corners of the field. A double off the wall in the left field corner, and a double that sliced over the wall in the right field corner. Talk about using the whole field. He has been one line to the other line tonight. Escobar started the year with Minnesota. He's now with Arizona, so he does not have any of the league leading totals, since his numbers are split between the American League and National League. But overall, he has 45 doubles to go along with Bregman's 45. Bregman's OPS up to 941. On the ground, here is another base hit for Bregman to the corner. It's another double. His third of the night. Astros lead 5-1 as Kemp scores on the RBI for Alex Bregman.
Three doubles. Miss your spot, he's going to make you pay. Slider, curveball, changeup, fastball, he is ready to hit. The simplicity of his swing makes him so dangerous no matter what the count is. He has been wearing out that left field corner here at Minute Maid Park this homestand also.
New major league leader in doubles with 3 tonight and 46 on the year. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa 0 for 2 with a walk. And takes a strike. .46 doubles for Alex Bregman. He's now up to 91 runs batted in. Bregman his second career 3-double game. Did it this year against the Blue Jays. Correa down to the count 0-2. Bregman had hit a home run in 3 consecutive games before tonight, and tonight his second career 3-double game. Correa slices one down the line and right, and that is going to head into the crowd. Carlos has popped up, grounded out, and walked. 46 doubles ties Miguel Tejada and Lance Berkman. Tied for the 7th most in a single season of franchise history. Now he's 10 off the Astros record. Tejada in 09 and Berkman in 08 at 46 doubles. Called third strike. Correa goes down looking for the final out of the inning, but the Astros tack on to their lead with Alex Bregman's 3rd double of the night.
now on the mound for the Houston Astros, getting comfortable in that Astros bullpen. He said he's really enjoyed the guys that are in there with him. He's gotten to know Brent Strom, the pitching coach, really well. But he did say coming into this series, it's really weird to look across and see his former teammates as the Astros acquired Presley from the Minnesota Twins, the team he spent his entire career with, debuting with. And he said it was a bit of a whirlwind when he got here. As far as mentality, you know, you're just trying to win games, but he will miss some of the guys on that team. He had a really good time. He is so excited, though, about the future here with Houston. But this matchup, this inning for him, maybe, he has a few emotions going, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Julia. This is one of those moments after spending those years with Minnesota that he was really looking forward to. And here it is with Chris Jimenez, the guy that caught him last year and now is back. Excuse me, Mitch Garver is going to be a pinch hitter here for Jimenez in the 8th inning. Garver's the guy that caught him this year. And he's going to hit here for Jimenez to start the 8th inning. I've seen Presley be very impressive, especially lately. He's had that curveball working to go along with his other pitches. That curveball is such a big weapon.
No, his stuff is nasty. We heard all about the spin rates before he came over here. And since being here and being able to see him on a regular basis, you can see some of the movement that he creates and how tough it can be as a hitter to try and square him up.
Some of the Twins were asking about Presley today, and a lot of them caught up with him in the last 2 days. Talking about how good a teammate he is, and he has proved that with the Astros. And he swings, or he gets a swing and a miss from his former catcher Garver, and that is strikeout of the first batter he faces going against his former team. Good night for Justin Verlander.
Yeah, you are exactly right. He got an early lead in the first inning from his offense and then just went to work. 7 innings strong, 3 hits. Never really felt like things were getting too out of control for him. That second inning he did leave the bases loaded, but always felt that he had the pitch to get him out of an inning. He struck out 8 in this ball game to retake that strikeout lead in the American League over his good buddy Garrett Cole.
Struck out the last 2 he faced, and Verlander would retire the final 13 after that RBI double by Robbie Grossman. Played it the only run of the night. Oh, Verlander 7 strong innings tonight. Turns it over to Ryan Presley in the 8th as he faces Joe Mauer.
That's another great September start for Justin Verlander.
The guy has put together great Septembers throughout his career, as we told you about before the game. His best month. Presley with a count of 1-1.
His career 3.05 ERA might drop a little bit.
Verlander's had some battles with Mauer throughout their careers. He got Joe tonight 0 for 3, although Joe did line one to short his first time up on an 0-2 pitch. Verlander allowing 3 hits, a couple of walks, and those 8 strikeouts. And now Presley strikes out Mauer. A couple of strikeouts against his former teammates to start the 8th.
Look back at those month-by-month ERAs. He hasn't been typically a very good starter out of the chute with that 3.78. A little bit different this season. We were seeing some very good numbers put up by Justin Verlander this season, but that September-October number is the one to look at, because you want to get off to that great start, but it's always how you finish. That's what they remember most, and he is to be remembered.
Verlander dropped his ERA 5 points tonight from 2.78 to 2.73. Here's Logan Forsythe. Well, it'll be fun to watch down the stretch. Verlander 4 more starts, Garrett Cole 5 more starts. We showed you the potential candidates for Cy Young. It's wide open right now.
Oh yeah.
And 4 more strong starts for Justin could put him into serious consideration for his second Cy Young award after a couple of runners up. 6 in the top 5 in his career before this season. Forsythe with a count of 1-1.
Well, I would imagine just to be considered at the age of 35 and everything he's gone through to get to this point, it's got to be pretty good honor for him.
You mentioned that 30th start tonight. He's done that 12 of 13 seasons. Had that injury in 2015 that limited him to 20 starts. But a guy who returned to the All-Star game this year and was happy about that, and now having one of his best seasons. Ryan Pressly coming out and looking very impressive against his former team, and a swing from Forsythe. A strikeout for Pressly. He strikes out the side, getting Garver, Mauer, and Forsythe. With a Kroger family 4-pack that includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, only $70. Visit Astros.com/Sundays for tickets and info. 2 more Sundays to go on the home calendar as we welcome you back to Minute Maid Park, where the Astros lead 5-1, heading to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Very impressive 8th inning in the top half for Ryan Pressly against his former team. He strikes out the side.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't too nervous about the whole thing.
Julie, what'd you see?
Well, something you had said in that last half inning was that, you know, catching up, these guys were saying good things about Pressly. We had heard good things about Pressly when he came over. Robbie Grossman even told me today, you guys got a good one in him. He's great. His fiance is great. And he's a really, really good pitcher. And something that Pressly mentioned, he's like, I came from a good clubhouse, a good team, and then I landed on another really good team and a good clubhouse. I feel like both of these teams, everyone could really get along, but that's not really the case these 3 games, but that's just that just goes to show how great some of the guys are in both of these organizations.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. A loose, friendly clubhouse on the Minnesota side, and Pressly has fit in right away here with the Astros. And I knew they were getting a talented pitcher, but he's even opened up my eyes a little more than I thought with what he's done.
No, I'm in the same boat with you, because I don't know how you felt about it, but I didn't know much about Ryan Pressly until he became an Astro. We knew he had decent stuff. The numbers said that he had good swing and miss ability, but to actually see it in person and see it consistently and see it get better, that's what's remarkable to me. And he is a dangerous man on the mound with a baseball in his hand.
He's got some weapons. That curveball he's been utilizing a lot as an Astro.
Well, Logan Forsythe for me is a professional hitter. He's put up good numbers in his career. He is a good big league hitter, and the swing he took at the second strike, that was that slider down and away that had that late break, and he looked up after that swing and was just kind of like, wow, that was a nasty pitch. When you start to see reactions from some big league hitters that kind of shake their head like that might have been the best slider I've ever seen kind of look in their eye, that tells you they're doing something right. But it's the location and the movement for me from Ryan Presley.
Ground ball to short. Polanco makes the play. Tyler Duffy, the new pitcher for the Twins, has a couple of ground ball outs in the bottom half of the 8th.
Time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Cy Fair debuted with the Astros and patrolling the outfield. A lot of people got this one right. Robbie Grossman.
That's where its notes are?
I don't know. They look a little tattered. Take better care of that.
Where's the laminated sheet?
Right? Dress that thing up. Like it went through the wash last night.
I was going to say, it's like somebody's receipt. Here's Reddick with an 0-1 count. Yeah, Cy Fair. Robbie Grossman, the Bobcats. Over in Cyprus. 0-2 the count to Josh. Josh with a couple of hits tonight. Also popped up. Tyler Duffy, the 27-year-old, also from Houston. Former Rice Owl. Getting to the game here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So some Houston flavor with Cole Stewart and Tyler Duffy tonight. And Reddick goes down. Well, Duffy, the Houstonian, with a 1-2-3 inning against the Astros. Let's go places. Astros looking for back-to-back wins in this series against the Twins and looking for 4 in a row overall as they continue this homestand and wrap it up tomorrow night. 5-3 so far on the homestand. And Chris Davinsky looking for the final 3 outs this evening.
Devo looking to get back on track. He has pitched in 43 games this season for the Houston Astros. ERA just below 4. Like to see him have a clean inning against these Minnesota Twins. Pitched against LA on the 30th. Gave up 3 hits and an earned run, throwing 34 pitches.
The Astros winning last night 4-1, or yesterday afternoon to be more exact. Leading tonight 5-1. Devo will face the 3-4-5 hitters in the Twins lineup. Jorge Polanco, Robbie Grossman, and Jake Cave. Oakland leads the Yankees 1-0. They are through 4 innings at the Coliseum in Oakland. The A's going with an opening pitcher tonight too, as they did a few nights ago, with Liam Hendricks getting the start and then going to Daniel Mengden out of the bullpen. Jay Happ pitching for the Yankees in that game. Stephen Piscotty a home run, accounting for the only run. It's in the 5th inning, 1-0 Oakland. Devo trying to pick up where Justin Verlander and Ryan Presley left off. Verlander retiring the final 13 he faced. Ryan Presley striking out the side in the 8th. Devo Dropped the changeup in for a strike on Polanco. Tries to get him to fish for that one. It's 2-2. Davinsky's second outing back off the DL. And that ball's hit high and deep, and that ball is gone. Jorge Polanco hits his 4th home run of the year. And the Twins get a run back. It's now a 5-2 game.
It's not an ideal location up in the zone. Credit Polanco for having a quick bat, turning that 95-mile-an-hour fastball around.
Brent Strom out to visit with Devo. Well, the home run's what bit Davinsky before he went on the disabled list. It allowed 3 home runs in his last 2 outings without recording it out. Came back with 2 innings of 1-run, no earned run baseball in his first game back off the DL against the Angels. Now he'll face Robbie Grossman. Grossman with 2 of the 4 hits for the Twins tonight. RBI double to go along with a single. He's 2 for 3. Roberto Osuna begins to warm up in the Astros bullpen. AJ would prefer not to use Osuna, but Davinsky giving up that opening home run, getting Roberto starting to throw in the bullpen.
Boy, good boy.
Coming back from a 2-0 count, now it's 2-2.
Good job with that changeup.
Doesn't get a chase, and now the count's full.
Yeah, Robbie Grossman's a guy who knows that strike zone pretty good. Knows that changeup is a big weapon against left-handed hitters coming from Devo.
Just missed, ball 4. Osuna had just started to warm up, but he doesn't take long to get ready as AJ Hinch comes out of the dugout. This will be the end of Devo's night. So a home run and a walk. Hinch will go to Osuna in the ninth. down, but nah. Astros help pick up the spirits. Gerald, a picture of a team of us grilling out, cooking over 5,000 meals a day for first responders, volunteers, and families without food. Well done, Gerald.
That's what I remember. A lot of the cleanup, the floors being torn up, the drywall being taken off. A lot of those stories, too, of people losing their houses. It's definitely an incredible thing to watch a city and a team unite.
A runner on first base in the 9th inning in this 3-run game. It's 5-2. Roberto Osuna takes over.
He has pitched in 13 games with the Houston Astros and has 3 saves.
High fly ball to center. Cave got under it a bit. Springer is there for out number 1. This is a save opportunity as Osuna came into the game with a tying run on deck. Astros with 10 hits, Twins with 4. Here's Tyler Austin. Broken bat. That's a base hit into right field. The Twins are going to get the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. Austin didn't hit it hard. He broke his bat, but it perfectly plays with the shift on. Now runners on first and second with 1 out.
It's at 89 mile an hour. A little bit of a cutter, but more movement like a slider, and that's why it's off the end of the bat. The pitch moving that late at that velocity, the reason he does that and why it's so beneficial to create that kind of movement late is because it stays off the barrel.
Max Kepler rips one, caught by Yuli. Game over. Double play turned by Yuli on a rocket off the bat of Max Kepler, and the Astros win it 5-2.
Can't do it all on your own. Sometimes you need a little help from your friends, and that was a rocket off the bat of Max Kepler. You see Yuli down there at first base spear that one, and then quickly gets to his feet for that double play. Nice to see one of those benefiting the Houston Astros.
That had the looks of a double into the corner and trouble for the Astros. Instead, it turns into an inning and game-ending double play. The Astros have taken the first 2 games of this series and have won 4 in a row overall. They're now 6-3 on the homestand with a 5-2 win, and we will have more, including the post-game show after this.